a new video, guys. As you can see, bonnet's up on the Focus. We have got some cool things going on. Don't know how much of a difference this is going to make, but we're definitely going to find out. So stay with me and let's get into it. So here we have the engine bay of the Focus, and we are going to change this pipe here because it's restrictive and it's not as smooth as a silicone pipe would be. So we are installing a silicone cold side boost pipe on the car today. And whilst we're on the subject of pipes and stuff, that is the turbo to crossover pipe, and inside there sits a baffle that looks like this, and that will sit in there. It's got all these holes in, as you can see. Obviously not the big one because that's what air goes through, but these little ones here are designed to resonate the air that goes through crossover pipe and down into the turbo. And a lot of people get a silicone hose to replace that. Now I have ordered one, so before everyone starts jumping on me in the comments, oh, you're not doing it right and all that crap that I've had on Facebook, I've ordered one, right? This was just a temporary measure. Well, what I'm about to tell you is a temporary measure just to see if it would make any difference in sound, performance, all the rest of it. So in here, although I've taken that out, I've replaced it with a hose joiner, a metal hose joiner. I'll put a few pictures on the screen now to show you. Basically that is sitting inside there, and because it then makes it all nice and smooth, it's virtually acting like a silicone pipe would. Because if you don't put anything in there and you take the baffle out, this is just going to collapse. This is, as you can see, this isn't hot or anything like that, but it's flimsy enough as it is. So whilst the air's being sucked in, that stands a chance of collapsing. I have been out in the car and it hasn't collapsed under boost, so I know it's fine. And a lot of people were saying because it's metal it will then burn through that rubber, because obviously where it sits right next to the engine bay, well, you know, it's connected to the turbo by the exhaust manifold, by the engine. There's a shitload of heat going around, but this has been fine. There's no, I've had a look around that pipe, there's no burns, it hasn't come through anywhere, so I think personally that would be fine. And I would run it like that continuously, but that pipe looks disgusting, you know, with the ridges and everything on. So a nice silicone one's on the way. And like I say, the sound has been, it's a lot better. You can hear a lot more turbo flutter and all them good stuff. So that's enough of that. Let's get on to the install. Here we have the silicone pipe that is going on the car. I've opted for one without the Simposer outlet because I've deleted mine anyway. I'll show you that now. For those that don't know, that's what basically is classed as a Simposer delete. A bung, a small silicone hose, and it takes out the Simposer, which I'll show you shortly, but it comes up here and goes across the engine and up into there, and it basically just puts air intake noises into the cabin to make it sound like more aggressive whilst you're in the car. Here is said part, and that's the hose that is now blocked off. So if you imagine that's sat like that in the engine bay, and then that goes up over the rocker cover and towards the scuttle panel, and like I say, it just puts noises into the cabin. A lot of people delete these because in here there's like a diaphragm that stops the boost air leaking out, and they crack and fail. So a good idea is always to take these out. A lot of people do it, and saves you losing any boost. So that's what would normally sit there, and that pipe was then going to sit like that on the car. This top part goes to the throttle body, and this bottom end comes off the cold side of the intercooler. It's also got the map pipe there, so we'll obviously take the map pipe out of, sorry, the map sensor out of my pipe, and it'll go into there. So the first thing we're going to do is get all this out of the way. Probably take the headlight out as well. I'm pointing over there, but it's the wrong one, it's this one. Take the headlight out, get rid of all this. Okay, so I've just pulled you off the stand, just so you can see how little room there is to manoeuvre about. Down there is where the bottom of the intercooler pipe is, and obviously it's difficult to get down there, so I don't really want to have to undo anything else if I can help it. But just so you guys can see, behind the rail, well below the rail here, you've got the cradle that holds the radiator and everything in place, and that's really in my way, but I don't want to have to take anything else off really. I wanted to try and do this in situ. I honestly did not think it was going to be this difficult, but because mine's a mound tune, it doesn't connect the same as an airtec. The mound tune ones, if it'll focus, go there, just there. So I'm going to undo that, where the bracket is like this. Hopefully that'll bring it down so I'll have a bit more room to pull this pipe off, because it is really difficult to get off. Remember me saying earlier I didn't want to take anything else off? Yeah, well, I had to do it, boys. Inlet manifold off, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bolts. They've all come off just so that I can get this out of the way. But what it does mean is that with a little bit of wiggly, that'll come out. Now what I shall do is put this next to the other one, the new one rather, and I will show you the difference. So there we have side by side comparison of it's a Pro hose, the new one is, versus the standard one. Now the new one is slightly longer, looking at it. It's ever so slightly longer there, but if I put that level and come down this side, it's a little bit bigger, which could be good. We shall see. But yeah, it's got these ridges in, restrict the airflow really. You know, with the one-piece silicone, it's nice and smooth on the inside, isn't it? And also hasn't got that, which is the Simposer again, which would be there, but it hasn't got it, so it's one less thing to leak boost. So what I shall do now is get this, no I won't, I'll get the map sensor out of that, put it into the new one, and then we shall reinstall this onto the car, hopefully with no dramas. For anyone that's wondering, there's the part number for the map sensor, and that Torx bit there, it's a T20 Torx bit, that's coming out of there, going into the new one, and we've got a new bolt for it, which looks like a 4mm. Right, I've just took the map sensor out and I've gone to put it back into this Pro hose pipe from Auto Specialist. I will link them all down below. You can see it's all gummed up with silicone around the edge there, but the all inside, let's try and get it to focus, all that black there, it's just like silicone, whether it's glue or what from the metal piece being glued into the silicone pipe itself. But yeah, it's I'm going to try and clean it all out, because we don't want that ending up in the inlet manifold or anything like that, so I'm going to try my best to clean that out first before we put the map sensor back in. And on the subject of cleaning stuff, whilst your map sensor is out, it's a good idea to inspect the seal, make sure the seal's all okay, no splits or tears or anything like that, and maybe give it a clean with some electrical cleaner, as well as the inlet manifold, the throttle body, sorry, because mine's a little bit gummed up, so we'll give that a clean as well. Probably give this a bit of a clean as well, just because we want as good a seat as possible when these, because obviously this, let's try and do this one-handed, that's going to go back on there like that, so the green, don't drop everywhere you goose, all those obviously sit across there, and you want to try and make as nice a seal as possible so you're not going to lose any air. There we are, that's what I've just managed to pick out. Silicone wise, looks like glue wise, from inside the hole, but it's all clean now, so hopefully we don't get any more issues with that. But map sensors in, about to install it back on the car, but I just thought I'd show you that because I'm not happy about that in the slightest. So if you do get one of these hoses, man, check your pipes. When you're putting Jubilee clips and stuff back on, pay attention to where that is, because when it's fitted on the car, if for any reason you need to access that, try and get it so that it's pointing downwards, so you can get to it from underneath the car if you need to. Just a little tip. There we go, look, it's facing down, so that when I need to get to it, I can just put the screwdriver up or the socket up. Whereas if it's turned a bit further round, you're going to be hitting the cradle for the radiators, or you know, you're not going to be able to get in because of this. So try and set it where you can, so that you can easily access it in the future. Down here outside, rocking these tips for you. That was tips, not tits, tips. So basically all I'm going to do now is set it all back in the reverse order that I took it off. Starting with the throttle body. Well, I want to put the throttle body onto the top of the silicone hose first, then I can make sure that's situated in the right place, then reattach the throttle body with the load of bolts that are underneath it that attach it to the lower part of the inlet manifold. And so we are all back together. I did say earlier that I'd put all the engine bay dress up bits in the link in the description. I will do. This, as I've said in a previous video, was from Mike Greenwood at Panther Mods. I'll also link that down below. Fitting this pipe was harder than I expected. It's supposed to take roughly half an hour to an hour. I've probably been out here for about 2.5 hours. It's fiddly more than anything. It's not hard, it's just fiddly. All I've got left to do is put the stuff away, drop the bonnet, drop the car, and we'll go for a test drive. Just got back from doing a test drive. One thing I can definitely notice is picks up so much better. Early in the rev range, you can just feel it much more smooth. Throttle response as well. Is it worth the money? I wouldn't say so, but there you go. I think that's just because I've had a pretty naff experience fitting this pipe. I haven't included most of it in the video just because the video would have been epically long, well, longer than what it is anyway. But I'm happy. Got no choice really, have I? But no, it's I'm sure given a bit of time driving in that, I'll notice a lot more difference. I just took it out for a quick spin, so you can't. I don't really suppose I should make a judgment on a quick spin, but we'll crack on with it, and hopefully we'll notice a little bit more of a difference going forward. But thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for sticking around as long as you have, and hello to all the new subscribers I've had recently, whether it's just lockdown forcing people to watch more channel, or people actually enjoying what I'm doing, or whatever it is. Thanks a lot, and let's keep going, because there are a couple more things we've got coming. I'm still waiting for a few more things to come, so stick around for that, and thanks for watching, guys. Catch you in the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4!